Previously, when Sir Dane and Sir Paulo found Lewellyn very close to Knight Errant as she was talking to him with a bright smile, they became jealous, wondering why their airhead Commander Tristan hadn't sent any letter to the princess yet. Annoyed, Dane commanded Sir Rattan to send a letter to Tristan, informing him that the princess was very sick and missing him badly. And as Rattan left the scene, Dane reflected that if things continued like this, there would be no future for their commander with the princess. Later, at the meeting with Thessaly ministers, Lewellyn was shocked to find that the king of Thessaly himself had come to attend the meeting, and he was none other than her uncle. As Thessaly's ministers presented their unfair conditions to resume the trade relations between them, Brygent's ministers declined them right away. Observing this, the king declared that he couldn't trade with Brygent if they didn't agree to the terms. With this, Thessaly's envoy left the scene. Later, as Lewellyn returned to her room after the unsuccessful meeting, she found a letter on her table. Upon opening it, she found that the sender was none other than Commander Tristan. So, let's dive into the parts 114 to 117 of the manhwa, The Secret Bedroom of the Forsaken Princess. Shocked, Lewellyn mutters that she never thought Tristan would send a letter to her. Getting excited, she wonders if there is something urgent. Complaining, Tristan expresses that he waits for Coco because she says she would send him a letter, but she never sends it. Yet, he is not urging her to write a letter to him, but simply expressing his thoughts. Besides, by the time she receives his letter, he assumes the meeting will have already begun. He also prays that the meeting goes smoothly and she gets what she wants. Plus, Tristan has been watching her very closely, and he knows that she has been looking forward to this day. He only wishes a smile on Lewellyn's face when she reads his letter. After this, Tristan gives a report on his work, mentioning that the investigation of her assassination attempt is almost complete. He informs her that he finally captures the black magician who brought the demon snake on that day to assassinate her, and if they dive further, they'll be able to grasp the reality. Reading Tristan's letter, Lewellyn mutters that she was wrong, as he simply sends her a letter to inform her about the investigation. As she reads the concluding lines, she finds that Tristan only wants a smile on her face when she returns to Brygent. Reading these particular lines, she gloomily reflects that she can hear Tristan's gentle voice in her ears. Moreover, his letter drips with his warmth. He has always been a man who doesn't only do his duty, but also cares about her despite being insulted by her. Hence, she finds Tristan to be a very affectionate guy to her. As she reads this warm letter, she is sure there's someone waiting for her in Brygent. Besides, that person only wants her happiness and nothing else. Getting motivated, she states she won't be discouraged when there are people cheering her on like this. Moreover, she decides to write a thank you letter to Tristan. Later, after finishing writing a very long thank you letter for Tristan, she springs up from her seat and wonders if she should send it right away. Making up her mind, she leaves to deliver the letter. However, upon opening her bedroom door, she finds an unknown person standing outside her room. Scared, she wonders how an unknown person can enter a peaceful zone and whether he has been there from the beginning. Wanting to know the person's identity, she asks who he is and what he is doing outside her room. Hearing this, the person turns to Lewellyn's side, remaining silent. Scrutinizing the person, she reflects that she can't see the face, but he resembles the person she observed when she was attacked. Amid this, Almondite enters the scene from behind Lewellyn. Without delay, Almondite steps in front of Lewellyn and instructs her to stay behind his back. Making himself an unbreakable shield, Almondite orders the person to reveal his identity. Perplexed, Lewellyn wonders why Almondite is giving such a serious gaze at that person. Hearing this, the person turns away and begins to leave the scene. Nervous, she asks why Almondite is not chasing after that person. To this, Almondite angrily responds that there's no need to do that. Flinching, she wonders if he knows who that person is. She also wonders if she has done wrong by bringing Almondite along with her, because he unofficially enters Thessaly with her. On top of that, she doesn't know his real motive. Interrupting Lewellyn's thoughts, Almondite urges her to return to Brygent, as her life is in great danger. Confused, she wonders why he is bringing that up again. Pissed, Lewellyn strikes hard at Almondite's hand, causing him to pull his hand back from her shoulder. Clenching his fist in anger, he mutters why she isn't understanding his words. Besides, she can't get what she wants here. Suddenly, Lewellyn assumes something at hearing this. She boldly asks if Almondite already knew that her uncle, the king of Thessaly, would come to the meeting, and if he also knew that her uncle has hated her from the start. At this, Almondite becomes silent and avoids direct eye contact with the annoyed Lewellyn. Observing his silence, she confirms that he already knew her uncle would come to the meeting like this. In fact, Almondite's family has a good relationship with the Thessaly kingdom since the beginning, and the Vizirk family was in charge of trade with Thessaly. Moreover, the previous Vizirk duke, who frequently visited Thessaly, was also close to Lewellyn's late mother. Recalling this, Lewellyn states that if Almondite already knew about the meeting's details, he should have informed her so she could be mentally prepared. As he doesn't open his mouth to answer her question, she declares that no matter what, she won't back down. and there must be a reason her uncle came all the way here for a minister-level meeting. Determined, Lewellyn declares that if Almondite won't speak up, she'll meet her uncle in person. She reflects that she can't let this hard-earned opportunity to meet her brother Alpheus slip away like this. On top of that, that's the only way to meet Alpheus. And if she backs down because she was treated like trash, Brigent people will hate her even more. The scene then transitions to the next morning, where Lewellyn comes to meet her uncle, the king of Thessaly, in his chamber. The king suggests she go back if she came to talk about the trade, as her princess's powers cannot do anything alone. To this, she mentions that she only came to chat with her uncle, enjoying the tea. The king expresses that he already met her. Hearing this, Lewellyn smiles and states that she hasn't seen her uncle enough. Without hesitation, she asks if her uncle hates her so much, and if he only sees her as the daughter of the tyrant king, who humiliated and killed her mother. The king mentions that Brigent's execution of his sister, the princess of Thessaly, brought a halt to trade between the two nations, and because of Lewellyn's stupid father, the food prices in Thessaly skyrocketed, which killed Thessaly's people. Hence, he can't forget that disgrace, where Brigent killed his beloved sister and his country's people. Learning this, she states that if he doesn't want to recall those horrible memories, she'll leave right away. Witnessing Lewellyn's reaction, the king begins to laugh loudly. He then expresses that he doesn't hate her for that reason. The real reason he's treating Lewellyn so badly is because she's that tyrant king's daughter. Besides, he heard that even in the royal family, Lewellyn can't use her princess's power properly. And despite he doesn't care about other countries' affairs, he wants to say one thing, which is, he never missed her as a niece or felt sorry for her, but was just curious about her. Yet, upon hearing her pitiful circumstances, he was filled with anger that his sister's daughter is someone like her, and that's where his feelings for her totally ended. Hearing this, Lewellyn asks if she is that pathetic princess. With a predatory gaze, she questions if he did this to Alpheus too. Lewellyn gets emotional, inquiring if he said the same thing to her brother as he said to her. She wonders if her little brother was hurt by the cold nature of his uncle, and could it be that Alpheus was hurt like her in a foreign country? Disappointed, Lewellyn mentions that it was her fault for having high expectations from her motherland. The king informs her that he isn't her lifeline, but if she wants, he can prove that her brother is growing well. Amid this, someone knocks on the door. Hearing this, the king allows the person to come inside. Complying, a young boy enters the room in slow motion. Scrutinizing, she notices that the boy has the same red hair, the same golden eyes like her, and long, pretty hands like her dead mother. Lewellyn becomes heavily emotional, realizing the boy is none other than her little brother, Alpheus. Witnessing her same little brother standing in front of her, she reflects that he has changed a lot, but his face from when he was young remains just as she remembers it. Without delay, Lewellyn springs towards Alpheus and embraces him tightly. Weeping in joy, she expresses that she missed him so much and thought she would never meet him again. Astonished by Lewellyn's words, Alpheus tries to hug her tightly in response. However, he suddenly delivers a disgusted look and asks what the princess of Brigent is doing here. With this, he pushes her away from his body with greater force. Observing Alpheus' strange and unexpected behavior, Lewellyn flinches heavily, asking why he is behaving so oddly. To this, Alpheus asks if she was truly his elder sister. Perplexed, she wonders why he is referring to her as if she was his sister. Shifting her gaze to the king, she asks what's going on and why her younger brother doesn't know about her. To this, the king doesn't respond but only enjoys his tea. Seeing this, she again looks at her brother, who delivers her a displeased expression. As the king notices Lewellyn shaking heavily, he asks why she is trembling so much just from reuniting with her brother. Enraged, she insists that the king answer her question, calling her the princess of Brigent. Alpheus mentions he knows she is his sister, yet he doesn't remember her one bit and has no memory of her. Springing toward him, she asks why he can't remember her when they have always been together since childhood. Besides, if she still remembers him so vividly, how could he forget about her after only 5 years of being apart? With a sinister smile, Alpheus states there's no need for him to remember her, as he never planned to meet her in the future, because in his eyes, she is only a wicked princess of Brigent. As the king orders Alpheus to stop, Alpheus calls the king his father and asks why he didn't tell him earlier that the princess of Brigent was also here. The king calls Alpheus his son and asks him to sit beside him. Shocked by this unexpected scene, Lewellyn wonders since when Alpheus became their uncle's son, and why it seems like she is the one who is a stranger and has come between Alpheus and their uncle. Playing with his ring, the king asks how Lewellyn feels after meeting her brother after such a long time. Listening to the king's heart-piercing words, she lowers her gloomy gaze and begins trembling with inner rage. Maintaining her outer composure, she thanks the king for letting her meet her brother, and despite it being a different meeting than she expected, she still feels she should express her gratitude. Observing Lewellyn's confident expression, the king wonders how she quickly changed her trembling aura. Unexpectedly, the king asks if she doesn't miss the past or want to get back what she lost. Boldly, she states that even if she wanted to, she doesn't think she could get it back. Smirking, the king reflects that her blood is thicker than he thought. Suddenly, the king declares that since the Princess of Brigent has come to his chamber, he's ready to ease up on the negotiation terms. Despite not being able to forget the betrayal Thessaly suffered from Brigent, he still wants to give Princess Lewellyn a chance to improve their trade relation, as Alpheus tries to object to the king's decision, suggesting they shouldn't trade again with the wicked Brigent. The king then asks why Alpheus can't show a little kindness to his sister, Princess Lewellyn. As we wrap up today's segment, thank you for being with us until the very end. I'll be sharing fresh videos of this manga and exciting new series every weekend. Your support is invaluable, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Your encouragement keeps the channel thriving, and I appreciate it immensely. Until next time, take care and goodbye.